All right. So we have done these things earlier: indexing, then slicing, then colon operator, how to find out the part of a DNA, how to reverse the DNA sequence using this colon operator. Then we have studied some properties of string also. Say, for example, concatenation. Okay, if you have given 2-3 pieces of DNA and you need to add those DNA sequentially, so you can use this plus operator. Okay. Then we have seen how we can change the case. Say, for example, uppercase to lowercase or lowercase to uppercase, right? Then we have started splitting. Can anyone tell me whether I have completed this splitting or not?
Yes, sir. You have completed, sir.
Yes, sir. It was completed.
Okay. Okay. Yes. I can remember that this part also done. Okay. So today, yes. So another thing is how we can replace some character or something, or whether it is a DNA or amino acid or protein or whatever it is, the sequence. So we can change some sequence character by another character using the replace method. Okay. So then we have used count method also. So these are very useful and easy to use method which are available already in Python. So you need to write any piece of code, but you just need to know how you can use this syntax. Say, for example, this replace or this count. These are very useful methods. Okay. Another one is find. Suppose you want to find out whether your target sequence is present in the query sequence is present in the target sequence or not. So then you can use this find operator, find syntax. Okay. So today, what I'm going to start, that is the split option. Okay. So I think this is visible, right? This part. My screen is shared till now.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
So now we'll see how we can use this split option. For example, if you have given this string, okay, this is a string. This string has words separated by spaces. Now, if you want to split these sequences of words into different words, so what you will do? So there is already one method known as split, and by default it is taking nothing, that is a bracket open and bracket close. And if you just write in this way, so let's see what it does. Now you can see that whole of this string is splitted out wherever space is found. Okay. So now you can find that as a result, it is giving these string has words separated by spaces, but all of these are separated wherever space was there. Okay. So this is the logic of splitting a sequence or string by default. If you are not specifying by which character it will be splitted out. Okay. Then we can take another example. Now, in this example, it is a random example. Say, for example, here 3 words. Okay. So make out WB and these numbers And this is one example email ID has been given. Now you can notice that these are already separated by commas. Okay. Now if you use this split method, okay, so what will happen in this case?
So there is no space. So it will be considered as one line or one string. So
Yes, but space is here.
okay.
Okay, so let's check what will happen. You can see that by default it is taking the space as a separator, and it has created two parts from this full length of string. So one is this and another is this, right? So this is the logic. If you are using split operator by this way, you are not defining by which parameter it will be splitted out, all these strings. Okay, now if you explicitly need to split this line wherever the comma is found, so next you can do that by this way, that you just pass this comma parameter within the course. That's all. Okay, so it's very easy. So if you just run this thing, what you are getting? You are getting now this part, and this part, and those are earlier, those are separated by comma itself. Okay, so this is the use of split. Now you might be thinking that why we are doing this thing. What is the use of this split method? So this is very useful. Say for example, you have given this DNA sequence. I am pasting this DNA sequence to your chat box also. You can find out that. You can copy and paste if you are following using some computer right now. So you can copy and paste. Now it is saying that split where the GAATTC is present. So I think all of you have introduced to recombinant DNA technology, and you know what is GAATTC sequence. And in this questions, it is given that wherever this sequence will be present, so split there. So if you manually check where the GAATTC sequence is there, so you will find that here one GAATTC, here another GAATTC, and again here GAATTC. So 3 times there are GAATTC. So if you apply this split logic over this sequence, so I think you can write this code so that you will get the other pieces of sequence excluding the GAATTC. So your output will be like this. Am I clear? The question is clear?
Yes, sir.
So can anyone tell me what you need to do in that case?
স্যার কমার জায়গায় GATTC দিতে হবে স্প্লিটের পরে
Yes. So what I will write?
split first bracket
So split bracket in
Split
within inverted comma GATTC.
GAATTC. Okay. So if I run this, it will what? If I run only this, will it what?
first we have
No,
to
sir, we
assign
have to write the sequence.
Okay.
yes we have to assign the sequence in a variable and then
Okay.
Say for
So
example, DNA
variable
equals to
DNA equals to, okay. Then what need to do?
So within inverted comma.
Okay, good. Within inverted comma. Fine. Next,
so DNA dot split and then the bracket GATCC.
is DNA dot split. Okay. So if I run this, will it run?
Yes, sir, I guess.
Okay, let's check. Yes. So it is working, right? So you can see that exactly the same output is given by this code. So only 2 lines you need to write. Okay. So for this kind of question, you need to understand what it is saying, first of all, and then you need to identify which method need to be applied. Here, obviously, I have already mentioned that split this. So you are getting the clue that you need to use the split method. So that's why it is very easy. But sometimes you will find that the questions will be something different and you need to identify which operator you need to use. Okay, that is your job. All right. Otherwise, this is very easy to understand. So you can store this splitted part in a sequence in another string, and then you can print that string also. So you are getting the same result. Okay. All right. Now, okay. So is it clear? Split of function, split operation. All of you, any doubt?
Yes, sir.
All right. So next, we'll see the inverse function of split. So suppose now you want to join this piece of sequences. Okay. So idea is you need to remove this sequence from the whole sequence, so that you first splitted out this sequence with GATTC sequence. So you are getting 4 sequences. Now if you can join these 4 sequences back, so you are getting the full sequence without GATTC, right? So there is a method known as join. And first we are taking the example that using the same example. So if you are taking this, so how join can be used? So the syntax is you need to first specify by which separator you want to join the sequences. Okay. So here in this example, this semicolon is taken, and you see, okay, first of all, this sequence has been given, say for example, you can see. So these are comma separated things. Okay. Now your job is to replace this comma by semicolon. Okay. So what you can do, you can take this example data and you specify that your separator is colon. So if you run this, you are getting this. No problem. So that is the join function. Okay, very easy. Now if you yes,
স্যার এখানে জয়েনের ভিতর যে আমরা যে মানে স্প্লিটেড এটা লিখলাম, তো মানে এটা কি স্যার এরকম করা যাবে? ধরুন স্যার যে স্প্লিটেড যে স্ট্রিংস গুলো, এটাকে যখন স্প্লিট করেছিলাম তখন যদি ওটাকে আমরা কোনো একটা অবজেক্ট দিয়ে অ্যাসাইন করে সেই অবজেক্টটাকে জয়েনের ভিতর ঢুকিয়ে দিতাম, তাহলে কি হতো?
What are you saying that if I am trying to join this string, you are saying join
Yes sir, absolutely.
str1 like this?
Yes sir, এটাই বলতে চাইছি।
So how you will try to join this string? Means by which separator?
Sir, say space.
So you are trying to join by this way. Sorry. This way.
Yes sir.
Okay, so you are getting this. Okay.
But sir, there is no space between.
Okay. Okay. So you are trying to give a space like this.
Yes, sir. Okay,
You
sir.
are
I see.
getting
I see. বুঝতে পেরেছি, sir.
okay. Fine. So exactly that is happening if you are storing that value into another string. That is also working. Okay. And the same thing here you can do. So I've already given the example. So you can join these sequences separately. So in that case, you need to put the sequences by this way, and if you run this code, it will run. Okay, the same thing. So I think there will be no problem. And if you and similar example already given here also. Suppose you want to join ACAT, so you can do it by this way. ACAT will be joined. Okay, and if you need space or whatever character you put there, it will be joined by that character. Okay, that's all. So these are the examples of split and join. Okay. Now, I am not going to print formatting right now because it will be learned whenever required. So sometimes we need to format this print statement. Otherwise, you will be having some problem to print your results. So that's why print formatting is also necessary, but we will focus on that part later also. Okay. One more useful case is use of triple quotes. So I have also explained this earlier. Again, here it is given that sometimes you need to print all these sequences, all these words or whatever is there you want to print. So if you just use double quotes or single quote, so then you will face some problem to print that thing. Okay. So in that case, the easiest thing is to keep that part of the lines inside a triple quote, and then you print that, you will get the exact lines. Okay. So that is very useful in sometimes for printing purpose. So use triple quotes. Okay. And another example, that is, say for example, you want to print this C:\\\, nowhere. Okay. Now, if you do that, what Python will do, Python will remove one backslash. Okay. That is its inherent characteristics, you can say. The raw strings do not treat the backslash as a special character at all. And that's why if you are placing backslash inside a quote, it will be removed. One backslash will be removed. Okay. So how you can include these two backslash? So for that there is a trick. The trick is you need to place one R in front of this line. Okay. If you place R, it will take that backslash also. So these are very special cases where you need to print something, then you need to follow these rules. Okay. Now, many of you ask that how we can use the math library or any kind of library. Okay. So first of all, what is library? Library means what? Where you can find some books, right? Already there, and you
The
need to,
library in this case, it's a set of particular functions to do some certain operations.
right. Now my point is, suppose you want to visit one real library. So what you will do? You will go and you will find out the book you want to read, and then you will order that, and that particular guy who is operating that library, he or she will give you that book. So it is the normal procedure, right? So here also, what you are trying to do, you are trying to use the already written codes which are given in the Python program itself, and you want to try to use those functions that is already written. Okay, so what you are doing here, you are trying to order that. Okay, so import that function, import that method, import that module. Okay, so there are sometimes these are different method, module, functions. We'll discuss this thing. So say for example here, these are modules. So math module is there, which is written in that, which is given in the library. Now you want to access this math module. So the syntax is import math. Import math. Very easy syntax. Every time, suppose you want to access another module, so just import space that module name. That is the syntax. First line, you need to do this, otherwise this code will not run. And then there are some functions already there within this math module, so you can use that method. We have already seen that method, dot method, say for example count or split or join, just like that. So it is related to math module. So from math module you want to extract, or you want to call dot py method. Okay, so this is the syntax how you can call some method from a module. Now if you print that math.py, you are getting the pi value 3.1415 dot dot. Okay, so this is the easiest thing how you can use this math module to use some math functions in your code in future. Say for example you want to calculate the area of a circle. So r is given 2. Now you can add the formula math.py. Directly you are using this math.py value. Now I'm commenting this one. Multiplied by r, that is pi r square. Okay, and now you print this, so you are getting the result. Okay, so that's all. Now if you don't want the full length value, you want round off value, so you can use round that area. We are getting the full value, that is 13. Okay, is there any problem?
Sir, can you please repeat these things once again?
Which one?
Math library.
Sir, area math যেটা করছেন।
Okay, so
math library টা আরেকবার বলবেন একটু।
Okay, so what I am trying to say that there are lots of modules which are already written in Python and those are submitted in the Python library. Okay, these are already written. Say for example you are printing something, so how this interpreter or how this Python program knows that you are instructing that print this statement? So that means something is written inside this print command, so that it will understand that okay, it is saying that you print this. Just like that, there are many codes already written in Python, and those are saved in a library as some modules. Okay, so if you want to use those modules, those are already written code by someone else, not you. You can also write some module also, and you can submit that to Python. If it is incorporated in the Python library, so then you can again call this library for your purpose. Okay, So the syntax to call this kind of module is import the module name. So this math, math math is a module name, and you are importing that module from the Python library. One line command only. Okay. And if your module name is XYZ, so you need to write that import space XYZ. Now, how you will use that module? Say, for example, here in this example, I want to print pi value using this math module. So there is already one method available in math module is pi. So the syntax is math dot pi, just like dot count, dot split, dot join. So like that, you are calling pi value from this math module. Okay. And now if you print this, what you will get? You will get the pi value, that is 3.1415 dot dot. So this is how you can use this math module to get the pi value. Now, if you want to use this thing in your code, in your problem, say for example, you want to extract the area of some circle whose r is given, r equals to 2, that is given. Now you need to write the calculation part, that is math.pi. So now it will be exactly the same value of 3.1415. Okay, and multiplied by r. So that is pi r square. Now you print area and you will get this value 12.566 dot dot. So this is the use of math pi module, and pi method. Okay, and I just showed that if you don't need to print all these decimal points, so then you can round this off using this round keyword, round syntax. So round area, and it will be rounded up 30. Now it is clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Now you need to
Sir.
know. Yes.
Sir, since you're talking about libraries, are these libraries by default loaded into this, or we can also download some libraries externally?
Yes, that you can do. Because sometimes, some modules are not incorporated in the Python, and that is stored in somewhere else. So for example, GitHub or any other resources. So from there, you can download that module and you can call this to your system also. That is also possible.
Okay, sir.
All right. So next, how much time we left? Okay, half an hour. So we'll start another thing, that is list. Okay. So if you have done this string concept very well, so it will be easy to follow the list also. So now, if I am saying that, okay, so you store some strings into a variable, so then what you will do? So I'm giving you some colors, say for example, or about ball, red color ball, white color ball, and blue color ball. Now, if I am saying that, okay, store these balls into some container. So obviously, we'll take some container and you will put that ball into that container, isn't it? Otherwise, how you will store that balls? So similarly, here in computer programming language, some containers are known as list. The data type is known as list. and you can store some values to this list as well. Okay. Now, what is the difference between string and list? Now, in string, you need to give one particular sequence within double quotes or single quotes, whatever. Not more than one sequence at a time. Okay. If you can remember that, we declare that A equals to apple, B equals to ball, C equals to cat, like this. But now we want to store all these in a container, in a specified container. So in that case, you cannot use string again. So then you will get some error. So for that purpose, you need to use list. Okay. And now how you can create a list? That is very easy. So for that, you need to assign a list name. Here in this example, my underscore list is the name, the variable, list variable. And within the third bracket, you put the list elements. Okay. If these are numbers, so you can just put 1, 2, 3. Okay, so this is the easiest way to create a list. Use third bracket, and then you insert the numbers inside that third bracket, separated by comma. That's all. Now,
So the list is made of only by the numbers.
no. The list can hold any kind of objects. We'll see that one by one. Okay. So for example, if I run this, okay. So if you are thinking that, okay, so that might be a string also. So let's check the type of this variable first. Okay. So it is saying that is a list. So you are sure that this is not a list. This is not a string or any other kind of data type, but it is a list by using type function. Now, if you want to print the my list, to print this, you are getting this 1, 2, 3. Okay. So you are accessing this list elements 1, 2, 3 at a time. Now, it is your answer who asked me that whether we can use only the integer value. No, you can use different object types. Say, for example, it is string, it is integer, it is float, again it is a character. So you can, all these things you can put inside a list, but you need to remember that when you are using integer or float, you don't need to put it in a comma. If you put that inside a comma for quotes, so that means you are trying to indicate that you are using it as a string, not a number. So that is the difference. When you are using integer or any value, so don't use quotes. But when you are writing any string, so you need to put that inside a quotes. All right. Now, if you run this print my list, you are getting, sorry, I have not run it. You are getting this. Okay. Now, you may ask that every time I'm getting this third bracket, right? But if you don't want to print this third bracket in your result, what you can do? Okay. So I'm not going to that part. That is your homework. You can try. If we want to print only these things without this third bracket, so what we need to do? Okay, so that is your homework. I am not showing this thing. You can do it by many different ways, and we'll see later on. Now, suppose you have included some elements into a container, and now you want to check how many objects are there, how many things are there. So very easy to find out. There is a function that is known as len, len. Now if you use this len my list, it will show you that there were 4 entities inside that container, right? Last time we have used 4 things inside the my list variable, so it is showing 4. And next, the operations which can be done on list, so those are very similar to string also. So that's why I was talking that if you understood the string part very well, so it will be easier to follow the list also. Say for example, this list is given to you 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5. Okay, let's start. So yes, it is already created and it is showing that also. Now if I write this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the variable name is ARR. Now ARR within third bracket :3. Now again the slicing operator colon can be used here also, and the same logic will be applicable here. Okay, same logic. Can you remember that we have already done it in string?
1, 2, 3.
Yes, sir.
So you are saying that 1, 2, 3 will be printed.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's run. So it is 1, 2, 3. So these are the same logic. If you want to grab the element at index 0, so you write it in this way: my list, the variable name, then within third bracket the index number, that is 0. So it will print 1. Okay. Similarly, if you want to grab index 1 and everything past it, so you write this. So okay, so index 1 is 2, and then all of the things will be there. Okay. Now up to third element, up to third index. So let's see, 1, 2, 3. The same logic, same thing, nothing extra. So I'm not repeating this thing again. So okay, yeah. So you can also use plus symbol to concatenate lists. Say for example, you want to add this new item, is the string, into this my list. So what you can do, you just write this list name and then plus a new item within third bracket. If you do this, you can check that that is inserted in that particular list. New item is incorporated in that list. Okay. And if you use this kind of concatenation using plus operator, you can check that this earlier list has not been modified. Okay. And then you can reassign the list to make this change permanent. Say for example, if you are reassigning this thing, means my list and whatever you are incorporating into that list, and again you store that inside another list. Okay, in this way you can make it permanent. So now if you check my list, so it is added. But earlier case, you have just written in this way, you have not stored in these values to any other object, so your earlier list was unchanged. Now you have reassigned your my list with this, so you are getting the change list, modified list. Okay, and similarly you can use this multiplication symbol for multiplying your list. So you will find that your list is printed by this way. This is one time, and this is second time the same list has been printed. So you can print multiple times, you can use different values to do that. Okay, and obviously that is not change your original list. Okay. Now there are some list methods. Okay, so we first take this example 1, 2, 3. Then you want to append some value to this particular list that is already contain 1, 2, 3, these 3 values. Okay, so append method is used to add an item permanently to the end of a list. Suppose you want to add something after 3, so you can use this method concatenate, but more useful method is append, and the syntax is list dot append, and within the first bracket the elements need to be added. So we have taken list 1, 1, 2, 3. Now if we are saying that list 1 dot append within quote append me, so what will happen if I run this code?
Sir, list dot append me will be added.
Yes, so what will be the output?
1, 2, 3,
1, 2, 3, append me.
Right. So if I am checking now, it is there 1, 2, 3 append me. Okay, and you can check what will happen if you are storing this thing into some variable. Now we have not stored this in any kind of variable. Now what I am doing, I am trying to store this thing in a variable, and then we are printing this variable. So what do you think what it will print? So obviously the same result
Sir,
you should
list,
expect.
sir, 1, 2, 3 append me.
You should expect
Yes, the same.
that result, but it is showing none. Okay, and if you check that, why so? Because it is saying that is a none type. Okay, so that is the problem. That is a problem you are expecting if you are trying to do that. So why it is running so, we will discuss in later case. So for the time being, you should understand that if you just want to run this thing, if you just want to append some values to a list on the fly whenever you are running this code into a variable, so that will not work. Okay, so how we can do that, we will check. Before that, yes,
স্যার বলছি ওখানে যদি অ্যাপেন্ড মির পরিবর্তে যদি জয়েন ব্যবহার করা হয় হবে না?
join, list join. So you are saying this. List object has no attribute join. Okay. Join we can use for string, but there is no attribute join for list object. Okay.
স্যার জয়েন্টটা একবার দেখাবেন?
Join is for string.
ইয়েস স্যার, ওই স্ট্রিং জয়েন্টটাই একবার দেখান না, এটা অ্যাকচুয়ালি হচ্ছে না তাই জন্য।
Why it is not running? This one.
স্যার ডিএনএ সিকোয়েন্স যেটা ছিল।
This one.
ইয়েস ইয়েস স্যার।
Have you placed that inside a third bracket and quotes?
Oh yes sir, third bracket I used that.
Yes. Okay. So we'll check why this is not running. But before that, first let us do some more example. Say for example, if you want that there are two lists. One contains apple, banana, cherry, another contains Ford, BMW, Volvo. Now you want to add the list B after list A. Okay, so you can do it by this way: A dot append B. And now if you print A, you can see the changes. Can you see the changes? So you will find that there is a list, total list, which are marked by this third bracket, and inside that list there is another list which contain Ford, BMW, and Volvo, which are incorporated inside a list. So this is the list inside a list. It's an example of list inside a list. How you can do that? You are just appending one list, that is B. Okay, these are different examples I'm showing, nothing else. Then you can use suppose there is a concept which is known as tuple. So we'll see tuple in the next class. So if you want to add list after A, okay, B after list A, so same thing what you need to do. So these are questions basically. I'm not going to that. Okay. Okay, now another example. Suppose this is your list. Now you want to identify the minimum value from this list if these are integer, all these are integer. Okay. So there is a function known as mean. If you use that thing, it will give you the mean. You don't need to write 4-5 sentences of codes which is required in other programming. Only mean, that syntax you use, and it will give you the mean value. Okay, so you can check that whether max is also available. Yes, max is also available to identify the minimum and maximum value from a list of elements. Okay, next we'll see another operator, that is extend. So these are quite similar, but there is a difference. We'll check that what is the difference between append and extend. So first look at the example, so it will be easy. Suppose take the same very examples, A equal to this and B equal to this. That means this is a list and this is another list. Okay, now earlier we have appended list B to A. Now we are trying to extend this A with B. Okay. So the syntax is different. Earlier was append, now I am going to use extend. So look at the output very carefully and let me know what difference you have found. So this is the output.
So the brackets have got
There's
removed.
the third one.
Yes. So third bracket is missing. So that means this extend is not incorporating the list itself, but it iterates over its argument and adding each element to the list and extending the list. So it is basically converting the list element to the elements of the previous or which list to be modified to that list. That means earlier the list was incorporated as a whole. Now here in this case, if you are extending the list, so the list elements are incorporating as an element, not a full list. So it depends what you want to do. If you want to incorporate the elements into the list, individual elements, so you use extend. And in case if you are trying to incorporate the whole list into a list, so you use append. So that is the difference. The syntax almost similar. A dot extend B and there A dot append B. That's all. Okay. Is it clear? What is the difference between append and extend method?
Yes, sir.
All right. So I'm getting response from only one or two. I don't know whether you are following or not, because after this course, some problems will be given and you need to solve that problems, right? So, and if you are not doing practicing, so there will be some kind of problem. So start practicing by this time. Okay, so let us quickly see what is insert functions doing. Suppose this is a list, apple, banana, cherry. Now you want to insert one particular one by one. So you want to insert some value at a particular position. So if you are writing in this way, a dot insert 06. So what it will print? So it is saying that apple, banana, cherry, and at 0th position, it is incorporating 6. Okay. So in Python or any other programming language, if you see the example first, then it will be easy to find out the function. So that's why I first show you the example and then I am describing this functions, what it does. So you can see that we are giving the index position first within the first bracket, and then after comma, whatever we need to insert at that position, that value. Okay. So similarly, if we write this, a dot insert 3 comma mac out, so what will happen?
So apple, banana, mac out, and cherry. Position.
All right, let's check. 6, because we have already done that.
Yes,
6,
sir, yes.
apple, banana, mac out, and cherry. So 0, 1, 2, and 3. So this index start from 0. So 0, 1, 2, and now 3 position we are specifying that mac out will be there. So it is incorporating that thing at that position. This kind of insert function is useful when you want to insert something to your DNA sequence or RNA sequence or protein sequence. Okay, because you know there are gene coordinates. So suppose you want to insert one restriction enzyme to a certain position, restriction site. Okay, so what you can do, you can specify that particular position on that particular DNA, and then you can specify the restriction site itself. So you will find that ultimately that will be inserted to that particular position. Okay, so insert function can be used in that way. Now pop, another function. So pop means what? So it will pop off an item from the list. Let's check the example first. 2 minutes left. I can complete this thing. Pop 0. So it is popping off 0 index item. Okay. So it is taking off 1 and it is showing that thing. If you now show list 1, you will find that only 2 items are there, 2, 3, because you have already taken out 1. Okay. So that is the use of pop. Now you can store that popped item by this way. List1.pop 0, which is stored in popped item, and now you can show your item into it. But you see, the list 1 is now 3, because you can understand that list 1 now contains 2, 3, and you are popping 0, 0th position, that is 2 you have taken out, so list 1 is 3. Okay, so this much today. I should stop here. Hope you can run these examples at your home also. I will share this list methods, whatever there. So and again discuss in the next class. Okay. All right. So you have another class now. So you can leave this group. Okay. So bye today.
Bye, sir. Thank you.
So
Bye,
tomorrow
Bye,
at
sir.
9 AM again.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Sir,